Hi everybody, what's up? My name is Sabina. Welcome to my channel. I'm the left-handed alchemist. I'm a jeweler. I'm an artist. I'm a human. I'm trying to figure this shit out. I'm making video journals and posting them on the internet for all to see, mostly with the intention to be able to look back and see how far I've come, because I had this idea about 3 years ago and I didn't execute because I was absolutely terrified of being seen and sharing my voice on the internet. And in that time I have practiced doing such a thing, and I really wish that I had started then, because I've grown a lot in the last 3 years, and I really wish that I could go back and see more than just like my photo reel, my camera roll on this device that I'm filming on. That's why I'm doing this. Today is Sunday, January 21st. It is 4:46 p.m. and I'm gonna try and do like a little week vlog and see what happens. Sundays I usually do like a reset. This morning I was scrolling on TikTok, as one does, and I saw that some people were finding Crescent City 3 House of Shadow and Flame early. I saw that some Safeways were putting it out early and some Targets were putting it out early. So did I go to all of the nearest Safeways and Albertsons that I could find? Yeah, I did. Didn't find the book, but I did find a cool new coffee shop that I haven't been to yet. I've driven by it a million times, haven't been yet. Way too late to be drinking this coffee. Guess what, you guys? It's week 1 of trying to get my life in order. Last week's video, I talk about my goals that I'm trying to set. And basically, it's like a list of little things that I'm trying to do to increase my skills rather than really specific goals. I have specific goals, but most of them are like, have a sold out shop update and like have a $10,000 month. Can't do that if I'm not making stuff that can sell, and I can't do that if I'm not marketing it, you know. It's crazy. Nobody knows you exist when you don't tell them. So it's like consistently showing up. I'm realizing I'm spending a lot of time doing things that are not productive. I don't really care necessarily about being productive and getting a lot of stuff done. It's more like doing the things that I want to do. Turns out spending your life on TikTok is not going to yield results. And I am just realizing after talking to my therapist last week that I do in fact need to do a little time organizing. I am very good at knowing how long it's going to take to do things, but when it comes to actually applying like time organization techniques, I haven't done that since college. I've been out of college for like 7 years. After the pandemic and everything just kind of like spiraled, I haven't had like solid structure in my life, so we're gonna try it. So this week I have my trusty planner. It's my Laurel Denise planner. Let me show you this thing. That's pretty cool. So you have like monthly tabs, and then on one side you have your calendar, and then in the middle you have your weeks. You have your weekly dealio. So you have 2 like sections for each week. I have one for business and one for like home and life stuff that I need to do. And then you flip and it's each week in the month contained sandwich style. I love the structure of this journal or this planner. So I'm filling it out for next week. And I'm realizing, okay, so if I want to like be an artist and sell my stuff on the internet, I have to get my marketing down. I have lots of ideas for what I want to try with marketing. I'm not a natural marketeer. I went to school for sculpture, not social media. And I've spun a story for a very long time that I'm not good at social media, that I'm cringe, that I'm not cool on the internet. But all those things might be true. However, I can also be successful and cringe at the same time. So like, embracing the cringe, leaning in, having some ideas, feeling like I can't get those ideas out and executed because I'm trying to do too many things at once. Multitasking, not working. It's not working for me. Realizing, okay, I'm gonna have to have some days where I just do admin work. And I'm gonna have some days where I just work in my studio. And when I try and like balance both at the same time, I don't do anything. So yeah, just figuring that out. I also have a shop update that I'm trying to do. I'm releasing new work on the 25th. It will be out by the time this video is out. I've done that a million times, but every time I do it, it feels very rushed. And I feel like I'm not communicating what I'm offering with the world very clearly. So I'm trying to get organized for that. It's only 4 pieces. The rest of the day, it's already like late and I probably need to put this coffee in the fridge and finish it tomorrow. I'm trying to wake up at 7. I know that sounds like not that early for a lot of people, but I woke up at 10 today. I've been waking up between 8 and 9 most days during the week. And if I have nothing going on, it's not that big of a deal. But with this whole like managing my time thing, I'm finding that if I want to wake up, do my morning pages, my like journaling morning pages, and have my like morning me time, I need to wake up a little earlier so that I can go to the gym and like be done with all of that by like 10 a.m. That's the goal for tomorrow. I did this whole like hourly breakdown for the day between 7 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. And I tried to do like a rough draft, like this is what I would like to get done within these time frames to try and limit the amount of fuck around time that I do. Don't get me wrong, I did schedule in fuck around time, but it's like an hour total throughout the day as opposed to like multiple hours all at once right in the middle of the day. That kind of ends up making me feel tired and drained. I love TikTok. I love consuming TikTok media. However, I don't need to be doing it all day. I don't need to be like posting a video and then like checking on it millions of times throughout the day to see how it's doing. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. I've been getting more views as of lately, so that's good. But enough with the obsession. Enough looking at my phone compulsively and making it be the kind of thing where my head ends up hurting and I'm not having fun anymore. Because the goal here is to have fun. The goal is to focus on having fun and finding flow and prioritizing things that will do that. And I think that having a little bit more organization of how I spend my actual time will help me when it's actually time to have fun and flow, because there won't be this like, oh, I didn't get any of that stuff done. It's like, and it's done because I was on it. I was in my bag. I was doing my shit. I was doing what needed to get done. So yeah, today, it's still Sunday. I'll probably work for like maybe another hour, half an hour. I mean, the sun's only going to be up for a little more time. I have my shot list organized for what I need to do for my shop update. It's only 4 pieces. No big deal. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, it's Monday, you guys. I did not share my morning with you because that's me time. And I didn't wake up at the time that I wanted to. So I've been kind of just like going. I've been not allowing myself to have dilly-dally time until basically right now. You're sitting in my photo light box because I am in fact about to photograph jewelry for a shop update that I'm trying to work on. Organizing time. That's kind of the thing I'm considering this week. I have more like research needed to figure out how to implement this correctly, but I'm trying to do time blocking. So like this morning I went to the gym, gave myself some time for that, ate some breakfast, gave myself some time for that, took a shower, my hair's still wet from that. I just finished doing a bunch of computer work like quotes and emails, that kind of thing. And now I'm photographing. So I'm hoping that this will take about 45 minutes. And then I am actually about to do my first ever singing voice lesson. I want to throw up. I'm nervous, terrified, utterly scared. It's one of those things where I'm really excited. I can tell that it's like excitement and anxiety, not like a social anxiety kind of feeling that makes me just want to like run away and hide. I'm excited, but I am scared. So that's just me being real with y'all. I'll update you after. Okay, this is me post-singing lesson. I'm in my cozy clothes. Still have jeans on, but cozy. And I'm making dinner. Chicken and peppers and rice. I don't really like cooking that much. I just don't like it. I don't think it's fun. I think having to feed myself is inconvenient. So my husband doesn't care that we eat simple-ass fucking meals. And it is what it is. It's pretty healthy, pretty lean. Fuels me in my day and my life and my workouts, and I don't have to think too much about it because it's just like a protein, a vegetable, and a carb. Easy. It's fucking so simple. Anyway, I had my first singing lesson today. It was absolutely terrifying, but good. I think that the person that I'm working with is going to be a good fit. I'm excited to learn how to support my voice, and I'm excited really for the confidence. That's kind of what it is. It's like, I think that I can sing well when I have a shred of confidence. And yeah, that's going to come with time and experience and just practice and doing it. It was the kind of excited anxiety where I know I'm excited, but it feels like anxiety. But I went and I sang, and it was good. That was good. It's Tuesday morning. I'm not having a good morning. It's raining in Arizona, which should be magical. But I currently live in a mud hole, like literally a mud hole. We don't have a walkway to the house, to the car, where you can't, where there's no fucking dirt. I don't know why this is the thing that broke me today, but here we are. I try to walk from my house to my car to go walk on the treadmill at the gym, read my little book, whatever, after not being able to wake up because it's fucking raining. I don't know, man. Maybe I just needed the sleep. I don't know what's going on. It's so muddy. It's so muddy. It's like overstimulating. And so I had to go back inside because I had 3 inches of mud caked to the bottom of my shoes. I couldn't in good conscience go walk on the treadmill at the gym with mud on my shoes like that. And in the process, I almost fall. I'm washing my shoes off in the sink, not thinking about it because I'm already enraged, seeing red, just overstimulated with the mud. And my shoes are completely soaked. So I have to wear my other tennis shoes, which are so tight on my feet. Who decided to design shoes to be this wide? How are people walking around with shoes that constrict their feet? I'm in my own personal hell this morning, is how I feel about it. And then we were trying to fix a problem. My husband was trying to fix a problem with a pit at the end of our driveway, filled it with rocks. But the mud, because mud in Arizona is just like a different fucking beast. It's not real mud. It's like 2 inches at the top of pure slime underneath hard, compact, dry earth. Like, the water just creates this soup on the surface. And so the rocks got pushed in, so we put dirt on top of that, not thinking about it. And it rained all night last night. I literally almost fell into our ditch trying to get out of my driveway this morning. In the process, flinging mud all over the side of my car. Guess who's gonna have to clean it all? Me. That's the thing that's pissing me off. I'm gonna be the one who has to clean all the mud in the house and off my car. I'm gonna go walk until I can't breathe. Okay, so I just walked for 45-50 minutes, and I feel better-ish. I feel better enough to see that not everything is bad, and I was just angry and overstimulated about the mud. But the idea of going home and working from home makes me want to break down and cry again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go home and shower. I'm going to make myself breakfast, and then I'm going to find somewhere to go and sit and work. I'm currently, a little bit salty that everywhere I go to try and work, it's an $8 latte. So I'm not buying lattes anymore. I've decided I'm just going to get a black cup of coffee wherever I decide to go and sit. Because fuck paying $8 for a cup of milk and coffee. Stupid. I'm going to still get my work done, despite the fact that I want to go home and smoke weed and knit my sweater. That's what I want to do. But that's not what I'm going to do. At least not until later. Okay, I've eaten, I've showered, and I've watched TikTok. I watched a little bit because I just needed it. I feel a lot better, actually. When I got home from the gym, I power cleaned my kitchen. And that felt really good. It was just really satisfying to clean and take control of something that I could take control of and make it right again. It's currently 1:08, and I feel the internal panic of it's so late in the day and I haven't gotten any work done, and I'm bad at organizing my time, and I'm failing, and I am not productive, and I can't do this right. Despite having a weird morning. I'd be willing to bet there's something astrologically happening. I find that things happen to me in conjunction with astrological movements, but I personally don't care enough to learn any of them and learn about that. So I just kind of let the universe tell me, like, I'm sure I'll see a TikTok later today that's like, this planet moved here and this is why you feel like this, and then it'll be like, oh, that's why I felt like that this morning. Okay. I hear the astrology girlies say this shit, and if I'm being honest, the way that I feel about astrology is very much like, I think that it has value. I think that it has a place in the world. Like, I don't think anything really bad about it. It's just that I don't care enough to learn all of the intricacies of it, to know all of the things about all the signs and all of the houses and all the degrees and how it's all energetics. It's not like literal, because the tropical astrology that Americans follow is not based on any kind of actual planetary movement, which is kind of confusing and interesting and weird and maybe a little gentrified. And I think that gentrification aspect of it is a little weird to me. Like, it's an ancient practice practiced by people in India and Southeast Asia, and it is like really an ancient thing, and then white people have kind of co-opted it and made it trendy and like marketable, and I think that makes me really uncomfortable. And I don't know of any resources that are teaching sidereal Eastern, like real Eastern astrology, and I just don't want to learn it. I just am not super interested in it, so I kind of stay away from it. And then when I hear things, it's kind of like, oh yeah, that confirms that, like, whatever. I'll hear things about the energy of different moons, and it's like, yeah, I kind of felt that. Or sometimes I don't resonate with it. I think I've adopted the method of just trusting my intuition. And like, I woke up this morning thinking, like, there has to be something biological about the fact that when it rains, everyone's super tired. Like, it has to be something in our DNA and our like biological functioning. Because I even heard somebody at the gym this morning be like, I almost didn't make it, I wanted to sleep all day. Like, same. And maybe it's barometric pressure, maybe it's the lack of sunlight, I don't know. I think we get a lot of sunlight here in Arizona. I know I was crying about, we haven't had a lot of sun. We've had a lot of sun. I'm just being a baby because I was overstimulated when I was crying about it. But I don't know, like, I just listen to my intuition, and sometimes I don't know what she's saying, and sometimes I don't know what it means until like way later, and then things kind of come together, and it's like, oh yeah, that was just my intuition. So this morning when I'm crying about, I'm so behind and there's mud on my shoes, which is hilarious in hindsight, several hours later, that I was crying about mud, but I was just like so overstimulated. I still made it to the gym. I still walked for a long time and got my heart rate up and did my zone 2 cardio and like am better for it physically and mentally. And so I'm thankful that I was able to do it. I'll probably edit a lot of this out because I don't really want to have a super long video this week, because it's only Tuesday and I probably have 45 minutes of footage. But it doesn't really matter because this is my journal. This is my diary, and I can make it whatever I want. And it's really about finding confidence and using my voice and sharing myself. And then also, like, I can't wait to look back at this stuff and have this insight. And like, I don't know, I think a lot about legacy and ancestors. Like, I work with my ancestors. It's like my spiritual practice, basically. It's like the weird woo-woo thing that I do still, is I venerate the ancestors. I pray to them. I talk to them. I very much think about them every day. And as a result, I think a lot about legacy, because I will one day be an ancestor. And I think about how it would be really cool to have this kind of thing from my grandparents, and have this kind of information about my grandparents that's like easily accessible. And so I don't know what YouTube will look like in 50 years. Like, I don't know. I don't think it really matters. But I do know that I will try and keep this information saved somehow and kept somehow so that people can see it and see, like, this is what a 27-year-old lady was doing in 2024. I am not an example of what all 27-year-old ladies were doing in 2024, but this is what I was doing during a very interesting time in the history of the United States, to see what was going on. Like, we're currently kind of looking at the precipice of War III for real this time. We're at a point with our government and with the people where the media has shown us enough of what's really going on. We have access to different perspectives. We have access to different information through the internet. And maybe some of it is radicalizing. Like, there's part of me that wonders how much of TikTok is radicalizing our youth to be some kind of psyop from like China. I don't know. I enjoy TikTok thoroughly, so like I still watch it, but I do contemplate what is the truth? What am I being shown that it like is any of this real? I don't know. I don't know. All of this to say, like, I think that we're on the precipice of a crumble or a transformation. I don't know if the government's necessarily going to fall the way that maybe people are hoping or anticipating that it might, but it is actively changing. And it makes me think, like, what's my role in all of this? I've never been like a protesting type. It's been more of like oh, okay, I'm going to learn as much as I can about how I've been lied to, and then I'm just going to be defiant and I'm going to act differently, and I'm going to like actively live my life in a way that is in resistance to what I should be doing, like healing generations of trauma through EMDR and whatever, like gives me the ability to not make the same mistakes as my ancestors, to have a regulated nervous system so I'm less easily controlled and manipulated by the government. Reposting videos on TikTok doesn't really feel empowering to me as far as like how I am acting in resistance towards these really oppressive forces. And then like even like making videos like this, talking about my thoughts about it, maybe giving other people the idea like, oh, it can just be in how you interact with yourself and your community. Like, think about how we as Americans are so individualistic. It's always like us versus the world. It's our family versus everyone else. Me and my family, and everyone else can get fucked. That's not a good way to think about the world around you. I know, like, me saying it like that is probably a little abrasive, but really, when we come together as a community and we can take care of our community members and can take care of the people around us, we are acting in defiance to the forces that be that tell us that we need to look out for ourselves, and me and my own, you know? That kind of thinking is just not rooted in like real compassion, real heart-centered living. And I think whatever you want to call it, like religion or spirituality or just mindset, I don't know. I think that when we come from a place of love and compassion for ourselves and the world around us and the people that we surround ourselves by and just like our community, like we'll see a society that looks a lot better when we understand that the people on the streets who are living on the streets are part of our community and part of our collective, and we have a duty to them to take care of them and make sure that everybody's fed and housed. Things will change, but as far as that goes, I don't know what it looks like, and that's where I kind of like lose steam in the conversation, because I know that I'm still a part of the individualistic thinking and individualistic lifestyle. And when I see people begging on the streets, like I live in Phoenix, and I live in like a really densely populated area of transient people and homeless folks, houseless folks, however you say that nowadays. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just, it is what it is. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know, genuinely. I don't know what to do, and I don't know what that looks like. And I don't have any solutions to offer other than I think it's okay to not know, and it's okay to be in a liminal space while you don't know, and just ask the universe and the world around you kindly, like, what can we do to fix this? And I'm not saying like everything will just be all right and work itself out, but it doesn't do me any good to feel ashamed that there are people living in poverty when like I single-handedly can't fix the problem. Like, living in shame doesn't help anybody. Like, being ashamed of the situation doesn't help anybody. It actually makes things worse. I have a relationship with shame. We've been frenemies for a very long time. So anytime where I feel that shame voice come into my mind, I know like, okay, this is not the most empowered place. This is not the most empowered like way to live my life. And so I avoid it a little bit. And I may or may not admit this on the internet. I may or may not cut this out, and that's okay. I have efficiently wasted 15 minutes of my 2-hour time block for working this afternoon, and I don't know if it's okay, but I feel that capitalistic urge to hustle and like push myself and get the work done at all costs kind of mindset rolling in, where it's like, I know that I need to edit some photos right now, but I'm about to turn on my audiobook. I'm listening to Divergent. I never actually read Divergent. It was really popular when I was like later in high school, college years, but once I got to college, like late high school, I was taking so many AP classes, like I was reading textbooks nonstop, so I didn't want to read more for fun. I just didn't find reading fun. And then same with college, like I didn't read a for fun book until like 4 or 5 years after I graduated college. Wait, how many years have I been out? 2017, 18, 19, 20, 6 years. I've been out for 6 years. I did have to count that on my fingers. I'm an artist. I'm not a math girl. I don't think I read a for fun book until about 3 years ago. I've been reading self-help books in the meantime, but like fiction, fun books. I've read more fictional fun books in the last year than I have in the last 10. I'm catching up, you know, there's a lot of really good books out there, and I have the Libby app. If you don't know about the Libby app, I encourage you to look into it. I thankfully live in a very big city. Like Phoenix has a very robust library, and you can get your library card and enter it into the Libby app. And from that, you can listen to audiobooks, you can read ebooks. Like I read and listen to so many books for free from the Libby app. And then I've made decisions, like if I read something for free and then I like it a lot, then I'll buy the physical copy. It's like kind of like a trophy. Like I have this weird thing about like having the physical object where it's like, it feels secure. Like, yeah, okay, my house could burn down and I lose it, and then I still have the digital file to like read it on my phone or Kindle or something. And I still have access to it right now, but like, there is part of me that's like, do I really own it? Like, if I have these books on my Kindle, like, do I really own it? Do I really have access to it? I like sharing as well. And so I feel like if I have the book on hand and I'm talking about it with a friend, I can hand the friend that book and be like, return it to me when you're done. You don't have to pay for this book. I will be your library. I love the idea of, in my like adult home that I will build one day, having a room with like floor to ceiling bookshelves, and they're just like filled with all the books that I've collected throughout the years. Everything from like spiritual stuff, different kinds of spiritual books. Like I have a lot of witchcraft books, a lot of Eastern religion books, like things that I feel like are good information to have regardless of what religion you end up deciding to follow for yourself, because having the access to the information to me is a key to freedom. Like information and education is a key to freedom, and like learning about yourself and learning about the world around you and all the different things that there are to choose from and all the options that you have helps you to navigate black and white thinking, because black and white thinking is really insidious. It's something that we find a lot, I think, in our culture and in our society, where we are pigeonholed to believe right or wrong, black or white, this or that. You have to be one or the other, you're in or you're out, and that kind of thinking is really toxic. It doesn't allow for expansion, it doesn't allow for growth, it doesn't allow for paradox and multiple things to be true at the same time. And I think having access to information and having like a wealth of information at your fingertips, like through the internet or books or whatever, allows you to free yourself from that black and white thinking, and allows you to have more open space in your heart and in your mind to accept people for who they are and accept people for their differences, and to see that the world is not black and white and it is actually very many shades of gray, and that many people can be many different things at the same time. And it just, I feel like it helps you understand yourself and the world around you. Holy cow. Okay, so there's a speed bump right in front of my house, and when I'm sitting here, I'm looking out the front of the house. I can see the road. This little, like, the Kia Soul, those boxy cars that the hamsters drive, actually all four tires were off the ground at the same time. They hit that speed bump hard. It's so funny. All that to say, I'm gonna do a little editing. I'm gonna probably start my timer over and do a little bit of editing and just get the admin side of things done. I have 2 quotes that I'm writing. How exciting. 2 jobs to make people custom jewelry. How exciting. I get to do this for a job. Amazing. So grateful. A 10 out of 10 experience, really, to live the life that I live. Even when I'm crying over mud on my shoes, I still have a great life. So I'm going to go get that organized so that I can maybe this afternoon spend some time in my studio. That would be nice. That'd be a nice way to spend the evening, especially with the boys being gone. I kind of can do whatever I want. So yeah, it's probably the last bit I'll be talking today. See you Wednesday. Truthfully, don't have much to say today on this lovely Wednesday afternoon. I was a little behind schedule this morning and went to the gym and got super hangry. came home, ate lunch, and it's 4:44 p.m. Praise. And I just finished doing all of the shop update for tomorrow. So if you want some handmade jewelry, buy it from me. That's really all I have to say. I'm hoping to get some studio time in. Could be fun. Here's the collection. 5 pieces to make you beautiful, baby. That's all I have for today. Like more of the same. It's just like more of the same stuff. Same stuff, different day. Nothing new to add. See you tomorrow. Hi, everybody. I'm in the same place that I was yesterday recording for Thursday. It's just like super flattering angle. You know, you're looking at me like imagine like, whoo, you know, I feel like I am asserting my dominance over you. With this positioning, but also you are just sitting in the crook of my laptop because I just finished working on administrative work. I just finished writing a quote. I'm gonna hopefully if I don't do this project for this client, I'm gonna do it for myself. That's how you know it's a good one. Make a necklace and a ring out of these gems with this engraved on the back, or something similar like this engraved to the back. Beautiful! We'll see how that goes. I have this thing where like I want to make a lot of money and I want to be paid well for the skills that I've developed over the last 20 fucking years being an artist since I could hold a pencil, and then over the last maybe 12 to 15 years learning how to making jewelry. Like, I'm not master jewelry and craftsman engraving level, so I feel like I price my stuff fairly for that. But when I write my quotes at my desired dollars per hour price point, I personally go into cardiac arrest. So I undercut myself a little bit. But if I can move more material and more product and like get confident selling my stuff for a price that I feel comfortable with, I'm hoping that over time it grows. Because I mean, we're just talking like a couple $100 difference between what I feel like I could sell the piece for and what my formula is priced as what I should sell my pieces for. It's okay. I like write this quote and I just assume everybody's poor. And so I'm like, oh, it's so mean. Oh, they're not going to be able to afford it. They're going to say no to the project. Like, oh, but that's just like not necessarily true. And I need to stop undercutting myself. So that's what I'm thinking about today on this fine Thursday. The sun's finally out. It's been raining all freaking week in Phoenix. And my house is surrounded by a puddle of mud. But the sun is out finally. So hopefully that means it's going to start drying. I don't know if you guys knew this. I got my ears pierced last Friday. They are still in pain. I am still in pain. Less pain. I can finally sleep. I've learned that I have to sleep. I'm a side sleeper. I've learned that I have to make a V with my fingers and cup my ear like this so I can sleep on my side. After sleeping on my side for several hours last night, I rolled to my back and I straightened my arm out. I laid there in pain, serious pain, because my arm was so stiff from being like crammed all night. So several more months of healing. Yay. We have some friends in town, so that's exciting. A friend who brought some of his friends from Alaska. Exciting. So it's only Thursday. It feels like Friday. It's felt like Friday, probably because my collection dropped today. I haven't sold a piece yet, but every piece is over $300. And I don't frequently sell $300 pieces off my website. I do sell them out of a boutique in California. So who knows? I do have clients and I do have people out there who want to buy my art. I feel still like, despite all of the work that I've done about money mindset and like worth and self-worth and value and all of that good shit, I still, after all these years, feel like I'm choking every time I think about spending money or receiving other people's money or whatever. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Poverty mindset is a bitch. And it's not fair, and I am angry that my ancestors who once had money and high status, and not really even that they had money and high status, like my great-grandfather moved here from Poland and like became a real estate developer and like had apartment buildings, and he was like the man, and then he turned to the bottle, and you know, it just wasn't good. I don't know at what point we lost it all, but my family does not have a lot of money, and if they do have a lot of money, they act like they have nothing. Poverty mindset, so ingrained in both sides of my family, and I don't like it, and I want to do better for my kids and leave a better legacy. I think my husband is really on it. My husband's family is like really on it with wealth and money mindset, and really being intentional about legacy for multiple generations now. And I really love that. I really love that I married into this family where we're thinking about these kinds of things. And I think that it will be possible. I mean, I think it would be possible regardless of who I married. If I was still single, I think I could still, you know, figure something out. But I know that together we'll be able to do something really cool. So that's exciting. As far as the rest of the day goes, it's only 2 o'clock. I finished all of my office work before 2 o'clock. I didn't go on a super long gym session, so that helped. Yeah, and I want to spend some time in my studio working on February's release. I kind of want to start thinking about everything a month ahead of time. Like, while January is dropping and I'm doing the promotional work for January, February is getting finished, so I can start doing all the content creating and getting everything ready for that. In a perfect world, I would have a social media manager. I would have somebody who's on it. Like, maybe I take the pictures, or I just show them kind of what I like, and they do all of the editing and grid planning. I hate Instagram so much. Like, I have spent so many years trying to be in Instagram's good graces. I'm picking the shit out of my fingers right now. I'm not proud of who I am when it comes to my fingers and how my hands look. I love my tattoos. Like, I love my hand tattoos so much. One of these days I'll fill in this. Like, I actually hand poked all of these myself. I'm left-handed. This one needs a redo. I could probably touch up all of them. But you know what I'm saying? They're so beautiful. I really love them, and I want to do them on the other side. The courage to do it with my right hand. I think I could do something cool, but my cuticles are just a situation that is not good. Sorry, I keep like wiping my nose and biting my fingernails. Anyway, Instagram sucks my dick. I try so hard to make it beautiful, and at this point I just don't care about it like at all. I don't get any traction from it that really matters. Usually it's just a way for me to get people to contact me about custom work. Like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. People contact me through it, which is useful. Like, it's useful in that regard, and it is something that I've designed, and my grid is now something, and planning on something. Like, I spent this week planning my grid and making content for it, being just something that's beautiful, and a rolling portfolio, essentially, where it's just like an updated portfolio where you can scroll through it and see the things that I've made. I think in the past I tried to use it too much like a personal diary, and now at this point it's just like such a shitty institution. Like, the peak of Instagram is over. We are on the decline of it. And I think we're even on the decline of things like TikTok. Like, I'm kind of waiting for the next thing to come up. And I don't know what it'll be. I don't know if it's like a revitalization of something else. I have feelings about Pinterest, but I don't know exactly how to organize that. I think through organizing content for Instagram, I have a lot of ideas for what I can do with Pinterest. And I think doing these 2-hour admin blocks kind of in the first part of my working day for the next, I don't know, maybe just try it for the rest of February and see how it goes. Like, January is about to be over. There's like 5 more days, actually, 6 more days. 5 if you don't include today of January, and 2 of those are going to be weekends, and I'm not going to do office work on the weekend. That is hard no for me. I do have boundaries around my work. We usually take Saturday off, and with friends being in town, we're going to be spending our weekend with them. We're not going to be like, I'm not going to be really desiring too much to spend time doing admin work. But I think through building the content for my Instagram profile, I will be able to make something cool for Pinterest and like start designing cool boards for different collections or different months, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if doing a drop every month is too much, but at the same time, like I released 4 pieces and I've been doing this long enough that I kind of know what I'm doing as far as the motions. Like I know how to do a product drop as far as taking the photos, making everything look good. Like I know how to take a good photo. I know how to document my work well at this point, and I'm really proud of myself for that. Crazy. Like I don't think I thought I would be where I am now when I bought my Nikon, like seriously 15 years ago. I think I bought it when I was a sophomore in high school, just doing photography stuff. I thought it'd be so fun to be a band photographer for a long time. And then I started making jewelry and needed to know how to photograph that. And just through trial and error, I have become successful at it. And that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily selling a lot of work right now, but I'm confident in what I do and how I document my work. I think it looks really good. So if I can just learn how to curate it and communicate that to the world, I just have this tendency to hide myself, and I have this tendency to run away from connection and to like avoid connection. I really, really strongly resonate with the avoidant attachment style. Oh, there's a cat in the tree. I call her Limpy Tail because her tail is like limp. She's really cute. She's like a gray calico cat. They run up this tree that is in front of the window that I work in front of in my office. And her and the orange cat that I call Peppers chase each other. And they're so cute. Austin hates them, but I love them. They're my friends. Fun fact, this house was owned by a hoarder. It was a hoarding house situation with a woman who, I mean, like really... I feel like hoarding in and of itself is a mental illness, but it was clear she had some kind of dementia situation going on. It's really, really sad. Her whole house was infested with cockroaches. This whole house was infested with cockroaches and termites and cats. The neighborhood, everybody in the neighborhood has a story about the lady who lived here before and how it's always comes back to the cats. And when I say hundreds of cats were born in and around this house, I'm not exaggerating, not even slightly. Everybody has told us about the cats. And there's a few that the neighbor has TNR'd and she feeds them. So they're pretty friendly. They don't really like me. They don't really want me to pet them or like talk to them or look at them or really acknowledge that they exist, but I do. And you can just tell that they're at least tame enough that they are able to eat out of the lady's food trough that she keeps in her backyard. So that tells me that they're friendly, and that tells me that they will one day warm up to me. And that's a delusion that I live in, because I think with some unchecked mental health issues, I could also be a cat lady, and I could also be somebody who has a lot of cats and protects cats. I have one cat now. He's my pride and joy. Cheese Bertino. Cheesy boy. Cheesy. Ugh. Okay, there's this guy also, this landscaper. Some people really took advantage of the lady who lived in this house. And it's really sad because she was actually very mentally ill and there were actually problems. You know, it wasn't just like a crazy old lady. It was like somebody who was losing her marbles and needed help. And for whatever reason, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk like everyone should just take care of their sick and dying parents, because I have a parent who, when he's sick and dying, I will not be taking care of him. And there's reasons for that. And so I have to assume that there's reasons why her kids left her to die in her cat piss soaked house. But the neighborhood also kind of took advantage of her, because there's this landscaper who just took her for all she was worth and didn't actually do anything to the yard, didn't actually keep it up. Like, we live in a part of the valley where there's irrigation and water irrigation for what were once orange groves, but is now residential. So our yard floods every 2 weeks to deep water the trees, and it's really nice. I mean, as far as like temperature regulation goes, it is not as hot here in the summer. There's huge trees throughout this whole neighborhood. It's really green. I really like that. But part of why there were termites and so much damage to the house when we bought it is because the irrigation water would come right up to the front door and soak into like the foundation of the house. And so if you're a landscaper taking care of somebody's yard and they're paying you to do that, you would maybe think like, I'm gonna move some of this dirt so that we can create at least a berm. It doesn't have to look great, but mowing the lawn isn't enough because the house is now falling down. When we opened up the walls, I'm not kidding, the 2x4s that were supporting the front of our house were gone. They were eaten. I was vacuuming up cockroach shit out of the walls, literally vacuuming the 2x4s as they turned to dust because the termites ate them. Not good. Not good. Thankfully, we had the ability and resources to be able to fix this house. My father-in-law, he actually owns this house. We just pay him rent. He's our landlord. I'm so thankful. So we were able to fix it and save it, and it is now somewhere like desirable to live. We're planning on selling it. So if anyone wants to buy a house, email my husband. We're moving to Colorado in April, so April, May. So we're hoping to have it sold by then. I think the idea of moving makes me want to die. Shit, piss, vomit, all of the above. Because I've moved so much. I literally moved less than a year ago into this house after we got married. And the thought of doing it again, bonk. But also the thought of living here long term just doesn't really feel right. Like, there's no room to expand. There's no room to start a family in this house unless we built a whole big shop in the back so that we could move like our office and work out, and then we would have 2 extra rooms, and then we could make it work. Like, we could make it work. But my husband's also a truck king. When I say he has 4 trucks, I'm not exaggerating. He was trying to convince me last night or a couple nights ago that he needed to buy another one because it was a good deal. He didn't buy it, but there's nowhere to turn around a trailer in our backyard, so it doesn't really work. It's like a nice place for someone else. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just ready to leave Arizona. That's just my thoughts on it. I've loved that I've had the chance to live in a new place, in a big city for the last 10 years. I'm so thankful for that. But I am ready for a quiet life in the countryside. And when I think about it, and I think about how I'll be downsizing my like town that I live in, I get a choked panic feeling because the town that we're moving to like doesn't have very many good restaurants. You have to drive kind of far and there's not much to do. But when I think about it, like, I don't really leave the house that much to begin with. Yes, there are things that I do here that I won't be able to do in the town that we're moving to. I'll have to figure out like different situation, which is okay. I can do that. I'm resilient. I know that it will be okay. I know that it is a better place to raise our family when we eventually start having kids. But in this moment, I'm just declaring this like I'm really scared. And the unknown element of it and the feeling of like panic fear grips me sometimes. And it makes me wonder if I'm doing the right thing. But then I zoom out and I think like, I don't know what the status of the world is going to be. There's part of me that goes into like full doomsday mode where it's like, I need to get somewhere where there's clean drinking water. I live in Arizona. Are you kidding? There's no clean drinking water here. And so if things get worse, people start fighting over water per se, I think Arizona is going to be the first to get cut off. We don't even have our own water supply. Everything has to go through California before it comes to us. God damn, our mail's not going to get delivered again because we don't have a mailbox. I really should just go out there. You're currently watching me freeze and not do what I need to do to take charge and get the materials and resources that I need. Because our mail lady is not going to deliver our mail. Because of the mud. Because of the fucking mud. God is giving me an opportunity and I'm not seizing it right now. And that makes me feel bad. That makes me feel stupid. It's truthfully because I don't have a pair of shoes at the front that I can just totally fuck up right now. They're all out back. Okay, I puckered up and sucked it. And I got my mail. Because why go another day without the gemstones that I really need to design my next collection? Also, sweatshirt came in the mail for my hubby. I want to say hi to Cheese. Hi, Cheese. Bobby. Say hi. Bobby. I call him Bubby. I don't know why. Because he's a little baby Bubby boy. Baby Bubby boy. I love him. Howdy, everybody. What's up? Hold on. Turn off my car really quick. I'm running out of gas, so it doesn't really make sense to sit with my car on, especially when it's not like a bad temperature outside. It's actually very nice. I'm very happy about that. I didn't realize how sensitive I was to the lack of sun. I'm sitting at the parking lot at the gym because I just went to the gym. It's almost 5 o'clock. I decided to go later today. I originally was not going to go because I thought I was going to do a bunch of yard work, and I did do a bunch of yard work. It just wasn't as like physically active as I needed it to be. So once I kind of situated myself, I decided to go to the gym. Today's gonna be the last day I record for the week before I put this video together and release it next week. I tried something new this week with time blocking, and I think it's one of those things where like more information needed, more time needed spent figuring out how to make it work for me. I think I had so much administrative work that I was behind on that now I am almost completely caught up on. So in that regard, I'm very proud of myself for taking the time that was required to get my shit back in order. I probably have like 2 more days of 2-hour sessions to be completely caught up. I can start thinking about future. And with that in mind, I'm trying to think about how I can incorporate more administrative days into my work schedule so that it doesn't become like this again. I think doing 1 or 2 a week and having 3 days for studio is a good place to start to see how it goes. Doing it every single day last week, I think also paired with the fact that there was just like a diminished amount of sunlight, I was really depressed. I woke up this morning like really depressed, thinking about having to try and force myself to be creative, to go into my studio, whatever. And I just decided like this is my life actually. I don't have to be as stressed as I feel right now. I think part of it is I haven't been waking up as early as I think I should be, but I also understand that sleep is really important for my general well-being. I think everybody needs to sleep a lot more than we give ourselves time to do that. And in the process of deconstructing and trying to create a reality that's a lot more functional for everybody, valuing and prioritizing little things such as getting enough sleep is just insurmountable as far as like resistance goes. Not caving and not catering to that hustle grind machine that just has its grips in my consciousness that is just so horrible and might be within me for the rest of my life. It might be something that is rooted out of my DNA in a few generations. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't start now. So we stayed out kind of late last night hanging out with some friends, and I decided to sleep in. Slept until 9:30, got up, did some chores. All of the laundry is done today. I completely weeded my garden. I harvested all of my radishes. I have like 50 majillion radishes. But just by like taking the time to get enough sleep, to eat enough, to go and exercise and move my body, to make sure that I got sun on my skin, felt really important. As soon as I sat outside for a while this morning reading my book in the direct sunlight, I already immediately felt better, and I knew whatever I do today, I'm going to at least sweep the back porch and like weed my garden. I don't care what else I do for the entire day, as long as I get some sunshine on my skin, because I really think that having everything be cloudy paired with like the mind melt of just the mud hole that my yard is currently, and just figuring out a new schedule for myself, it's very much something that I'm still figuring out. I'm still figuring out what works for me. And I'm gonna say, I don't think that how I did it this week worked for me long term. Did I get caught up with a lot of stuff? Yes. Did I get to a place where I'll be able to maintain what work I've done? Yeah, definitely. But I also know that working like that's unsustainable for me long term. I need to prioritize more creative energy days. And I think that by doing like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the studio kind of thing for my time blocking might lead to more overall fulfillment and satisfaction. I am satisfied with the fact that I was able to do a lot of my daily tasks and the like my tidy tasks and my daily tasks, I was able to keep up with for the most part. I didn't vacuum my house enough this week, and that might be part of it, like a little bit of a messy house, messy mind. But next week, my in-laws come into town for a month. They're rodeo people, and Arizona's like one of the biggest places for people to winter if they're trying to do rodeo stuff. So they're gonna come and stay on a piece of property that they bought. And I'll be going to the Tucson Gem Show. Whether I go alone or with Austin is to be determined, but we'll see. I will be recording that. I will be making a video about the Tucson Gem Show because I think it's really exciting. I've been going for several years, and I have 2 shows that I faithfully go to every year, and it's a good time. And yeah, I want to show you guys what it's all about. There's just so much. Some good, some bad. You know, you have to keep in mind that a lot of these gems that people use are literally mined with child labor, and that feels a little uncomfortable. And sometimes I don't know where my gemstones come from, I'll be honest, but it is my goal to work with people who are ethically sourcing their gems. I know a few dealers to go to and to stay away from, and whatever. I don't know. That's something that maybe I could work towards, is like, it'd be really cool to work with ethically sourced American mined gems only. That's something that I want to move forward to. And then I also am realizing as I move forward, I would really like to take some proper like fine jewelry stone setting classes to be able to offer more fine jewelry, more gold jewelry, more heirloom kind of esque jewelry. I have some ideas that require fine stone setting. And so I think maybe for the next year and a half, saving up for and finding a class to learn that skill and work in primarily gold, secondarily silver, making more heirloom quality stuff. I just feel like the engraving has opened a door for me that has been really good in helping me see a reality where I could actually work in that caliber of jewelry. I think I still very much suffer from feelings of not being good enough, and therefore not being worthy of people spending their hard-earned money on my art, but also at the same time believing that what I make is really good and worth being used and owned and cherished and adorned, you know? So it is this like paradoxical feeling that just is a little uncomfortable, is a point of tension right now. But I also know that when I focus too much on what I'm doing with my work, I feel a lack in other areas of my life, like just a lack of fulfillment. Like, it is so fulfilling to go outside and pull weeds for some reason. It's so fulfilling to make your space livable and comfortable and cozy and appealing to you. And I'm still working on the community aspect of things. My nervous system is still not perfectly regulated. I do find it hard to be around other people. I think I'm just still in my isolation hermit era a little bit. And I do recognize that I have a perfectionist tendencies, and I think maybe I want people to be different than they actually are without giving much room for compassion, which I find to be something that I struggle with in general, having compassion for myself. And then how can I have compassion for others when I don't really have it for myself? So in this time of like still being kind of isolated, I'm learning and practicing how to have compassion for myself. And I think an example of that I'm just sharing, not necessarily to brag, really not to brag, but just to like show growth and just prove to myself like that I have come a long way, is this idea that like today I decided to go outside and get some sunlight and go to the gym and eat well and drink enough water and take time to read my book, and tell myself that next week is a new week, instead of being really hard on myself and forcing myself into the studio and therefore forcing myself into the ground. Because working and making art when I'm feeling stressed and not in alignment with myself and feeling very connected to myself never really works out very well. I don't feel like I make things that are worth sharing with the world in that space. So by giving myself what I needed today, I'm setting myself up for more success in the future, and therefore being kinder to myself. And so as I figure out how to do this, I think I'll be able to call in friends and people that I really connect with. And I think that connection piece is really hard for me. It's very vulnerable. I sometimes still don't know what I need. It takes me a few days to be able to figure out what I need. Usually when something is like, doesn't feel right, I'll know that it doesn't feel right, but I don't have the words or ability to communicate quite yet. in that moment what I need. So I'm thankful for the people who I have in my life who are patient with me and are kind when I'm a little clumsy in how I communicate, because my intentions are never to like cut and be mean, but sometimes I can cut and be mean and I don't mean to. It just kind of happens like that sometimes. And yeah, I would say overall this week was like just okay, but there were really good parts. It ended really well, and there was a lot of learning. There was a lot of growth. I did take my first singing lesson. I think that that's something that I need to like really stop and consider as a point of growth, like opening myself up and singing in front of a total stranger and being vulnerable in that way. Still kind of makes me want to choke and die, but the fact that I'm willing to keep going and keep trying and keep doing it and push through the discomfort is something that I'm really proud of, and something that I am excited to see my growth over the next several weeks. I hope you guys have a good week, whoever's watching this. I'm just gonna like do my outro like this. You are currently sitting on my dashboard, where like my speedometer is, looking through my steering wheel, because I don't have a tripod exactly or a phone mount exactly that works for my car right now to be able to film and in my car nicely. Maybe I'll invest in one eventually. I don't really know. I'm really proud of myself for how much more comfortable I am to like sit and record myself speak and free flow these thoughts. When I first started to think about making videos in 2021, I couldn't even really talk into the camera like this without feeling like I wanted to peel all my skin off and die in a fire. And now it feels relatively comfortable. I'm sitting in a public parking lot with my window half open, speaking to myself into a camera, and I couldn't care less if somebody walked by. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this, thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. Check out my Instagram if you want to see what kind of work I do. TikTok, follow me on there if you want. My website's down below if you want any jewelry. I have a lot of stuff ready to ship, and I also do custom work. So send me an email and I'd love to make you something custom. If anybody wants any gold jewelry custom made, oh my God, I'm begging you, please let me make you some gold jewelry. So yeah, have a good week, everybody. Bye.